This has huge implications for the Commanders. In today's video, we will be discussing a shocking turn of events this offseason that no one saw coming. We're going to be discussing the retirement of guard Nate Herbig. I'm your host, Azia Mejia, with Commanders Digest, reporting everything all Washington Commanders offseason, regular season, and everything in between. So if you want to be caught up to date, Commanders, make sure to run it up. You heard that right. Based on when you're watching this, Dan Quinn has announced the retirement of guard Nate Herbig. No one saw this coming because based off the reports, based off the depth chart, Nate was presumably guaranteed a starting role within the offensive line. We have mentioned the offensive line a ton on this channel with the trade for Laremy Tunsil, getting Josh Conley Jr. in the first round of the draft. Those guys looking like the superstars of the offensive line with the supporting cast of Nate Herbig. What does the offensive line look like now with Nate already being a replacement because he came in, he was recently signed. He signed this offseason. He came in due to Sam Cosmi getting injured last season. I do believe it was during the Lions playoff game. And now you have to find a replacement for the replacement. What would the offensive line look like? We do have some quotes. I've done the research for you, believe it or not. So we're going to be breaking it down. But before we do that, if you're new viewer to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we do have a subscriber goal trying to hit 500. Yes, 500 subscribers by week 1. Game 1 for the Commanders is in 5 weeks. We're closer and closer for it to be. I know the preseason is August 8th, but you know, that's when it becomes official. But when it becomes officially official will be that September 9th. I believe against the Giants, I do believe. So if you're new here, subscribe. Now, if you're a returning viewer, you can also help because 87.5 of y'all who are watching the videos are not subscribed. That's crazy because it's for the free skis. It doesn't charge you nothing, and it takes like 2 seconds. You can legit subscribe while you're watching the videos. That's how easy it is. Back to the video. Like I said, Dan Quinn announces the retirement of Nate Herbig. The specifics of his retirement, we don't know, and we don't need to know. If he wants to retire, he wants to retire because he's built at 6'4", 334 pounds, offensive guard, and they get hit. There's every game they're getting hit. There's no doubt about it. Obviously, if you know football, they're getting. So imagine another dude, a similar build, 6'4", 334 pounds, just always landing on top of you. Or it ain't easy. I'm pretty sure Nate has experienced him being on the bottom of the pile when it comes to protecting the quarterback, protecting the running back, just offensive linemen going offense. All O-line versus D-line, it ain't easy. And he's also a journeyman. He's had a ton of experience in the league. He was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, spends 3 seasons there. Then he goes to the Jets for a season. Then he goes to Pittsburgh for 2 seasons. So do you consider the Commanders his 4th team, even though he never played a game? I don't know the technicalities behind that, but he was signed throughout the offseason for that replacement role for, like I said, Sam Cosmi, who got injured during the Lions game in the playoffs last season. Now look at the offensive line was meshing well. Like I said, you go get Laremy Tunsil through trades, then you go get Josh Conley Jr. the first round of the NFL draft. It was looking pretty strong on paper. It was looking pretty strong, and with the supporting cast, like I said, with Nate being that journeyman, having that experience in the league, would have been beneficial. We do have some quotes right here to talk about it. The situation. Brian Manning from Commanders Wire saying this about Herbig retiring. The Commanders had hoped Herbig would become one of their primary interior reserves after moving Brandon Coleman to guard when Sam Cosmi returns. W quote by Brian, L reading by me. But they had high hopes for Herbig. They knew what they were getting. Like I said, he has a ton of experience in this league. A ton of experience with winning, I'm pretty sure, with the Eagles, with Pittsburgh. You can say whatever you want about Pittsburgh, but they always find a way to be over 500. You can't over or on 500. So he does have a ton of experience. Like I said, you have different people coming in from different teams. Laremy Tunsil from the Texans. You have Josh Conley Jr. coming from college. You have to bring some of that experience. You have to bring guys who come from a winning culture. And Herbig has that experience. He knows how to guard. He's been in this league for a while, so he knows what he's doing. Like I said, they do get hit a lot, so he knows how to protect himself. We're going to go to the next quote right here from Darius Haynes from Sports Illustrated saying the move comes just months after Herbig signed with Washington this offseason. He was expected to help provide depth on his improved offensive line. Instead, he has decided to walk away from football before ever taking a stab with the franchise. Just breaking it down, he was there to provide that depth because it was looking a little shaky with Sam Cosmi being out, and then you have all these new people coming in. The experiment, you can't buy experience. You just learn. I've been doing this for a while, and Nate was that guy. We're going to come in and provide depth, but provide that experience within the team, and he never took a snap, which is unfortunate to see. Like I said, we don't know the circumstances surrounding his retirement, but we don't need to know. If he wants to retire, he can retire. We also have another quote from Darius saying, Herbig's decision closes the book on a 6-year NFL journey, and while his time in Washington ends before it truly began, the Commanders are left with a clearer picture of the offensive line heading into the heart of training camp. Yes, Nate Herbig retiring is a blow for the Commanders, but like the quote said, it leaves a clearer picture because there are a couple guys who that are in the team or within the depth chart that looks to be starting. You have guys like Chris Paul, not the basketball player, but there's an offensive line, Chris Paul. You have guys like Michael Detour who are fighting for a spot. You have guys like Julian Good-Jones who are also fighting for a starting role. So you have other offensive linemen. My fault. But that sort of now so in a ways it does confuse what the lineup will look like, but also clears the picture. With another dude gone, you have more space to give these other guys who were back and forth 50-50, didn't know if you want to put them in the offensive line. But what do you guys think? Leave in the comments down below. What do you think the offensive line will be ranked among the team? Is it a big blow for the Commanders to not have Nate Herbig? Does that hurt the team more than it benefits them? Like the quote said, it leaves a clearer picture. But how important, because I said it before, offensive linemen, they don't get the respect they deserve for what they do because they are protecting the quarterback, they are protecting the running back, they are getting hit. There's no way around it. They're not missing, they're not dodging tackles, they're going head on. So I do understand why Nate would decide to retire, even though it does come at a shocking turn at a random point within training camp after just signing with the team and not deciding to retire. But it is what it is. I'm not going to judge him for that. So you guys let me know in the comments, what do you guys think the offensive line will look like? Would it still improve? Does this even matter? Because you do have guys like Larry Tunsil, you do have guys like Josh Conley Jr. who are the focal point of the offensive line. Now you lose Nate. Does put it in Chris Paul, put it in Julian, just put it in Michael. Does that sort of, can you just flip flop them? Does that make sense? Can you really do that? Well, or was Nate, like I said, a big blow, shocking? It is shocking because you just signed with a team, you're gonna be guaranteed a starting role, and then now you just retire. How does that? Huge implications, like I said, for the Commanders going into the regular season, because you're less than 2 months away. You would think, okay, this guy's the guy, but it is what it is. But if anything breaks within the Commanders atmosphere, it'll be covered right here on the channel. I'm Aziel Mejia with Commander Digest, and I'll see you in the next video.